Hi, it's Marianne of MW's Designs. Recently, I've been working on my Spring Easter table centerpiece. It's for my Just Try It series, and I really hope you will try your own version of this. First, I'm going to show you my centerpiece, but the main focus of this video will be the watercolor painted mat underneath. This is what I used for my centerpiece. I have a ceramic egg carton that a friend of mine gave me, butterfly embellishments that I made, and I'll probably do a video later on to show you how I made them. I have eggs that were blown out and colored and decorated, raffia underneath, paper roses from the dollar store, and pressed leaves. These were just bits and bobs that I had around in my stash, and I thought that it would be good to use them in a decoration. If you look around your home, I'm sure that you will also find some pretty and interesting items that you could use to make your arrangement. It's a fun activity to do, and it cheers and brightens our spaces. Now let's get to the painting. I recommend using 90-pound watercolor paper because if you use a heavier weight, it makes the decorative edge around the outside hard to cut. But I didn't have any 90-pound watercolor paper, and I couldn't find any to buy, so what I ended up using was white cardstock. And even though it wasn't great, it did work. So if you don't have everything that I am suggesting in this video, look around for alternatives. So I needed to figure out how big to make my mat. I wanted it to be big enough so that my edge would show out from underneath the decorative piece. And I also needed to take into consideration the length of the pattern for my punches around the edge. These are punch around the page punches, and I think they're a bit old. A friend of mine gave these to me too, and when I looked for them online, I found them on Etsy and on eBay, but I couldn't find them just for sale from a company. But anyway, you do have to take into consideration the length of the pattern because you have to get it just right or you won't get the pattern working out. So my mat ended up being 8.5 inches by 6.5 inches, and that left almost 2 inches for my decorative edging. I'm going to explain more about how to do the edging later, and I will also give you some other options if you don't have that particular type of punch. And of course, you can make your mat any shape. It just depends on what your centerpiece looks like. If you have a round or oval shape, you can do whatever works for that. Okay, so let's get this out of the way, and I'll bring my cardstock out here that is the right size, and we need paint. I have my palette already mixed up, and I'm going to be using one brush for each color. That just makes it easier for me to do the video. I have 4 different brushes, and they range in size from number 4 to number 6, but they worked well enough for doing my painting. And I have, okay, so I'll show you the colors. I have my blue, which is a mixture of marine blue and viridian. I have my purplish one, which is purple with just a tiny touch of Viridian in it so that it's not quite so violet. And I have my yellow, which is lemon yellow, and I have green, which is a mixture of marine blue, Viridian, and what else did I use? Oh, sap green. So three different colors for the green. And I also have a very, very dilute green that I will be using for the background. It's very watery. The other ones are a little bit thicker. Okay, so I have my center that will stay blank, and I use just a piece of cardboard to trace around it. I like to know where the edges are so that I can gauge where I'm going to put the elements of my border. I am starting with drawing my vines, and I'm using a green pencil, but you could just use an ordinary pencil, and I like to do the lines coming towards me, and I'm not going to do all of it just so that my video doesn't end up really long, but I do my vine and then turn it the other way and do this side, just some wavy lines. Okay, and we'll work with this shorter edge. So I'm going to use my green, and I don't want too much paint on my brush, so I'll even just tap a little bit off and just go around, and if I'm a little bit wobbly I can go back and fix it. Okay, let's fix that. Okay, and then you would go all the way around the other sides too. And then I'm going to do some just little leaves. Just some simple brush strokes. And if you want to turn your paper to make it work a little easier for you, that's a good thing to do. And if you spend more time at it, you probably can get better leaves than I'm making. But the final effect is you don't really notice the exact shape of the leaves. So you just keep going and do the whole leaf. And then I'm going to start doing my flowers. Now I'm going to be alternating the colors. I just need to, okay, that's my yellow. I'm going to start with blue. And again, not too much paint on my brush. I'll start here. And I, for some reason, like to make 6 little petals. I'm leaving the center blank. Then I'm going to go with yellow. I think that's yellow. Yep. And then go down in this space. So there's a kind of alternate pattern going on here. That's only 5, so let's give a 6th petal, and then I'm going to go with my purpley violet color. And I love doing these little flowers. They're so relaxing to do. And then I'm going to go back to my blue. And I don't want to go all the way into this corner. So my next flower, which is yellow, I will do fairly close to the vine here. And the reason I don't want to go right in that corner is because I want it to have a plain background so the punched part will show up. Okay, there's kind of a version of the flowers, and what I like to do is go in the middle of these flowers with one of the other colors. I'm going to do purple in the yellow ones for a center. I'm going to do blue in the center of the purple flower and yellow in the center of the blue flower. So basically that's all you do for the flowers. And then I like my little dots in my patterns, so I'm going to use green, and again not too much, and I just do little random patterns. I like to do 3s and 1, and then straight across, and then maybe straight across there. But you can do it however you like, or you could do something else instead of dots, however you like to do it. I just think it fills it in a bit and just makes it kind of have a light and airy feel. Okay, hope you can get the idea of it from that. Now I am going to show you what I did for an alternative pattern around the edge. If you don't have these punches that go all the way around the edge, what you can do is use some sort of decorative scissors. These are the Scalloped Edge scissors, and I just, well, actually what I did first was I did a corner pattern. This goes in here, punch down, and you get this pattern on the edge, on the corner. And then I went around and did all 4 corners. Then I went with my scallop scissors, and you have to make sure you get the right way so that the scallops go the way you want them. And I just go all along the edges. And you could do this with a round or oval mat, minus the corner punches. And let's see, if you don't have those kind of scissors, I have even used an old pair of pinking shears, and that makes a nice edge. And there are other versions, of course, of the decorative edge scissors. I don't know what they call this one. Yeah, it doesn't have the name on it. And then I have these that are a decal edge. So you could do lots of different things. And in my first mat, I painted in the background, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. But I kind of thought after I did this one, I actually liked how just a plain background looked. So you wouldn't have to do the painting on it. I thought that looked quite nice too. But if you want to paint the background, and my little centerpiece is falling apart a bit, I'll show you what I did to paint it. Oh, I don't need that one. I need my very watery one. And you could tape it down, but if you tape it down, then you won't be able to do, you won't be able to have paint right to the edge. And I want, if I'm if I'm not leaving it white, I want the paint to go right to the edge. Oh, and another thing we have to do is erase the center pencil line. And do make sure that your paint is dry before you erase, because otherwise you will have smudges. Okay, that just gets the line out of there. And then, so I don't tape it down. I have showed this in some other videos, but in case you haven't seen them, I just spray the back a few times, and that will keep the paper flat when you paint on top of it, and not too much paint, and it's very watery. I just go across, and for the yellow, I don't want too much green. I just dab the green off. The other colors hold up well with the paint going over it though, but the yellow doesn't fare quite as well. Okay, just dab off a little bit there. And it will buckle, well, mine is buckling because it's cardstock. Even the 90-pound watercolor paper will buckle, but you still can make it work. It'll be flat when it dries. Okay, so that is pretty much done. I will set that aside to dry. And the last thing I need to show you is how to cut the edges using the punch around the edge punches, punch around the page punches. First, you have to open that up so you have the wings. Punch. Punch. Get rid of the scraps. Then, okay, these wings fold up and down too, so you want it down. Now, the nice thing about this punch is there are designs on the wings that show you where you need to put your paper to get a good punch. It will line up perfectly. So these the leaves that were punched out line up with the leaves on the wings. And you might have to use both hands. Some people can do it one-handed, but I can't. Okay, I haven't quite got it. There. So that is a really pretty design. This one is called Laurel Leaves. Then, to get it lined up, there's a little space here, I should show you underneath, that doesn't have anything cut out of it. So what you have to do is, okay, there's the leaf. You want to go up to the second leaf. And then if these are all lined up, you're going to have a perfect match. And one last one. Okay, there's the one, and then you want to go up to the next one. These are lined up. And there, and then you just go all around and it's continuous. I think that's all I need to tell you about that. Oh, and because I did the measurements to match this, what you have to do is you have to measure this measurement and the corner measurement. And I don't remember the exact measurement, but anyway, you measure this, add it to this, and then the corner on the other side, and then whatever, if you want to make, you can make multiples of this to get the right measurement. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you will try this and have a lot of fun with it. If you liked my video, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and the bell beside it, and I will look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.